In 2018, the Koenji branch of A1 Pictures established a new brand, Cloverworks. Still under the Aniplex umbrella, this studio handles recent shows like Fate Grand Order Babylonia, Persona 5 The Animation, The Promised Neverland, and much more. With the ability to handle lots of different shows at the same time, it's become a place filled with talented anime creators. Here are 5 things you need to know about the studio. When we see the staff list on an anime, it's natural to just gravitate towards looking at the studio. Sometimes this can be helpful, but other times studios are so large that it doesn't really tell us anything at all. This was the case with A1 Pictures. Not only are there a load of different producers at the studio, but there are also 2 studios, and no easy way to tell which building a show was made at. In this way, the term Cloverworks makes it clear that this is a show made by the team at Koenji, and we can expect animators and directors that worked with the Koenji studio in the past to continue working there. Few things have changed internally, so this was all about the branding. However, when it comes to the contents that A1 and Cloverworks make, you're not likely to see a major difference. They handle their own franchises, but ultimately, they both exist based on their variety. In fact, this video was kind of hard to make, since Cloverworks is by definition unremarkable. Instead of having a distinctive brand like Trigger or PA Works, they want to preserve an image of being able to do anything. In fact, in an interview with the studio's leads, when asked what their mission as a studio is, they just said, to complete work on anime. The most milquetoast answer possible. And yet, they do just that, and with some great production values too. The production values are the result of a great production staff who are able to form relationships with animation creators and convince them to be a part of their productions. With an increasing amount of anime being made each year, that's no easy feat. But one production assistant who's made a stir is Shota Umehara, an ex-Dogakobo staffer who built a reputation for finding animators who might not have the experience and trusting in them to take on ambitious roles. He achieved this at Dogakobo, bringing on a whole bunch of new talents who continue to work with the studio, and producer Yuichi Fukushima invited him to join Cloverworks and achieve the same thing. Many fans have noticed that any episode Umehara works on is guaranteed to have better animation. The Darling in the Franxx project was kind of a weird production. I mean, the show was weird, but it was also a collaboration between Cloverworks and Trigger, which seems like an odd combination, but the roots are actually pretty clear. In 2007, the director, Atsushi Nishigori, designed the characters for the Gainax show Gurren Lagann. At the time, Aniplex's Yosuke Toba served as associate producer on the show. Then, Nishigori was invited to leave Gainax and directed adaptation of The Idolmaster at A1 Pictures with Toba. So Darling in the Franxx is an ensemble of this director and producer's history. The creators of Gurren Lagann, who now form Trigger, and the A1 Pictures team that made The Idolmaster, now known as Cloverworks. Together, they made a really weird show. Studios are often distant entities. Literally, if you live outside Asia. They spend so much time making stuff that they don't really have the time to engage with fans in any way. Sure, they might show up for an anime convention, but there they only really get the chance to answer a couple of questions before jetting off back home. So it's quite cool that Cloverworks actually holds Ask Me Anything sessions on r/anime on Reddit, with a few of the production assistants at the studio. There's a lot of stuff they're not allowed to say, and a lot of questions are kind of above their station, but it's a good chance to learn more about production at the studio. Unfortunately, their upcoming session was delayed due to the coronavirus, but I'd check the r/anime schedule in the future to see when you can get your questions answered. Thanks for watching OTAQUEST in Japan. Feel free to subscribe to find out more about the art and creation of Japanese pop culture.